Good afternoon. Welcome. It is Monday. Let me get situated here. It is Monday, April 24th, 2023. And I'm glad to be here. I know last week that I was not. And let's see, some things are popping up here. And let me get them out of the way. So let me know if you are here, if you are a new follower. I'm on Facebook and YouTube. Can't believe how much I kind of forgot what I was doing since I missed last week. That's been a long, long time coming. So again, welcome. I have really fun things to show you today. And I am going to be showing a sneak peek from the brand new catalog, and that will go live next Tuesday. So can you believe that we are already in the last week of April? This is the last Monday of the month. Hello, Holly. Hello, Shirley. Thank you so much. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but I just kind of got out of bed a week ago Friday, and something twisted and turned the wrong way. And I truly thought I was going to end up in the hospital with a broken back or something. But anyway, I guess it's just the aging thing. Welcome, Gloria. And let's see. What are we seeing here? I guess, okay, I've got the annual catalog in my hand. Let me turn you down to that one. There we go. Got rid of my face there for a minute. And this is the brand new annual catalog. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would be happy to earn your business and send you a catalog. So let me know. But I'm going to get started. We've got a few here going, and let's see what we're doing. All right. I've been playing around, if you can see up here, all the little pieces parts of this daisy set. And it actually is featured on the front of the catalog with all these wonderful daisies. Hello, Diva. Hey, well, you made it. Welcome. There are 14 dies in the set and a beautiful Cheerful Daisies stamp set. And just to make a comment here, this little tag die that's here fits all of these sentiments, which is also a good thing. And then for one of the cards, I'm not sure I'll get to it, but I'm going to show you today. I'm also going to be using something fancy, and this is a carryover product. Wonderful, wonderful sentiments there. So let's get going. I think I have everything punched out and ready to go, but I am going to show you the card first, so you can get an idea of what I'm doing and what I will be telling you. And I did get the inspiration for this from one of our top demonstrators in the company. I think she might be number one. And her name is Lisa Curcio. So if you've not followed her, she's pretty darn amazing. But I saw this a while back, quite a while ago, I guess, when I knew I needed to make a card for an upcoming event, and it was perfect. And then I thought this would be good for today. I was actually going to do it last week, but I've tweaked some things a little bit with this set. And just to say that this is a little bit, it's not really different than what she did, but I'm using different sets and everything else. So it is a gift card holder. And then I also have an alternate one that does not have to have the gift card, but it's still what I'm calling, let's see, what am I calling this? A flip, flap, fun, fold. So say that a few times fast. So flip, flap, and we've got this fun fold here. So, and that way. And this is the little area that you can put in a gift card or some cash. And let's see if I can slip that back down in there. There we go. All right, and one of these I have already done something. Oh, yes, I already put some designer paper on the envelope. So let's talk about this designer paper very quickly before I get started on the card. This is the Fresh as a Daisy designer series paper. It's 12 by 12. Now the whole suite is part of the Cheerful Daisies. And this comes with this wonderful paper, the stamp set, the dies. It comes with these, yeah, these are the ones, these gems that are here, which I've used on the set. So it's awesome. Now I know we did get rid of the daisy punch. Daisy punches, I believe, are gone. And also we had a large background stamp that was daisies. Well, I'm here to tell you this is just the cat's meow, and you're going to love it. So let me show you this paper. We also have in here some of our new in colors. But when you look at this first piece, and there are 2 of every color, or excuse me, 2 of every page, these are perfect for card fronts, if you do scrapbooking, and they're just incredible. So I just thought I would point that out. I can't wait to really cut one of these up. I have not done that yet. But here we have some of our new in colors. This is Bubble Bath. I don't remember them all yet. This is the one that I'm going to do. I love this color, and this is called Copper Clay. I didn't know that I would like it as much as I do. There is another one here that you're going to love. Of course, we've got the Boho Blue. Boho Blue was kind of around with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, the mini one that they offered. So we've got Boho Blue, and I'm using the Pebbled Path today. Whoops. Pebbled Path, which I wasn't sure I would like it, but wow. I would call it a mix between a gray and a brown, grayish. I don't know what you want to call it, but anyway, it is beautiful, and everything's falling apart here. Okay, so let's see the rest of this paper real quick. So this is Moody Mauve. That is also one of the new in colors. I have not tried that one yet. And here is this one. I've got a card with this. And on the back is the Pebbled Path. That's this one. And here's the copper again. Copper Clay. This is a mix. There's garden green in here. And let's see what else. Garden green. It's got early espresso, pretty peacock. This would be the pretty peacock. And that is a returning color. Here we've got some of the mauve and the bubble bath. And this is that crushed curry? There's crushed curry in here. And then we've also got a new lemon lolly color, but that's not in here. And then this, I just love this. I think this would be gorgeous as just a framed print in a room. In fact, I have a guest room that is blue, a really pretty blue, and that would be just a gorgeous framed print. And here is the Copper Clay. Here we've got some of the garden green again, and this is a new wheat color. I've not pulled that one out yet. And there's the boho blue. So it's just amazing paper. right, let's see how to make this card. And I will have all of the instructions later on in the comments section of this, or in my instruction section. So again, it's flip, flap, fun fold. And it's going to be important that part of this is going to be on the right to give you that flap. And maybe you've seen something like this before, I don't know, but there are so many different fun folds out there that we kind of follow. And I think I've got everything ready for this one. Just flipping and flapping here. All right, so let me give you the dimensions on this. This is those things out of the way that I don't need right now. Okay, this is a piece that is 5.5 by 11, scored at 4 and 8 1/16. Now, where is the 1/16 when you get your paper trimmer out? So let me show you this. I will need to pull out the arm extension on this. So here I've got this at 4. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And the 8 1/16. So there we go. 8 1/16 is this first little notch, first little line after the 8 is the 1/16. So this part goes over here, and you've got this little bit of space left here. And that's important so that everything folds right. So again, this is the part here, and then once we get it decorated, this is what's going to go in here. And I'll give you the dimensions of this in a minute. Okay, so just want to double check something. Yep, it's right. Something just wasn't looking right and in my brain. Okay, so that is the card front. And then this panel is going to be 4.5. This is 4.5 this way by 7. And then it's scored at 3.5, which is half of 7. So that's going to be our flap to go on the inside. So I have pre-done some of this, and love, love, love this daisy paper. Okay, so I have a panel here that is going to go on here, and this is 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. Okay, 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. You know, just, yeah, 5 3/8. And then I have a piece of the designer paper that's going to go on here. That is 2 5/8 by 5 1/4. So it's just 1/8 of an inch around the edge. So let's glue this together. And I have a new Tombow glue here. Let's see, I like to put it on this piece first. So I hope you all had a good last week, and again, I missed doing this so much, but last Monday I just was not up to par. Well, I will tell you one thing though. I am sick of winter. It's back again. So we're back to sweater weather and those heavy coats again. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. So that's what's going to go on this front panel. Okay, now it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to decorate this with just a plain piece of the copper clay. And oh, this is just so pretty. And I wasn't sure I was going to like all the in colors. I knew I would like them eventually because I always do. But they're very earthy and more muted than last year's colors. But it's amazing how some of them will all go together very, very well. So this panel is 5 3/8 by 3 7/8 to go around here. And we just want that to be a single piece of the designer paper. I hate to cover this up back here with those beautiful daisies. So let's get our liquid glue on there. It's better to open this up flat. Let's move that out of there. Now, when I made this card over the weekend for an event that I went to, I was almost done and I made a mistake and wasn't paying any attention to the direction of the card, and I did one of the steps in the wrong way. So what I'm going to tell you right now is, since this is the way the card is going, and we're going to put a punch up here because this is going to create our opening for the gift card or your cash. So I'm going to take a pen right now and put a mark up at the top here because I flipped the card. I'm just going to eyeball that. That visually looks like it's in the center. So I remember, because you turn something over and it goes the wrong way, and I ended up with my punch down here and had to start over, but whatever. All right, now this is going to fold in. I only want adhesive here and along the bottom, nothing up here, no adhesive here. And I have pretty good control with the liquid glue, but you want to get this as close to the edge as you can. And I'm going to grab my silicone mat, not only because if I get any glue over here, it won't stick, but it also gives me some contrast underneath instead of having white on white. So I'm going to very carefully put a bead of glue close to the bottom here. There we go. That's a little bit, okay, very small. Okay, this is a brand new bottle, so it's oozing out a little bit more than I had hoped. Okay, that'll work. And then along this side, and with a steady hand, I think I've got a pretty straight bead of glue there. All right, now I think I can put the lid on there for a moment. And that is going to fold over. Right, then we will do the next part of the decorations. Now, I happen to have a 1.5 inch circle punch. If you have any circle punch or anything that you can cut a half moon in here, that will work. I'm just going to go down a little bit, and keep in mind that you are punching through 2 thicknesses and actually a third if you count the designer paper, and just pinch that down and look to see that it's the same, kind of equidistant from whatever size punch. Even a 1-inch punch would work. You just need a notch in there. This is just what I happen to have handy. We do have some new punches. They're a little bit bigger. Okay, I'm going to kind of lock that down, and without getting my head in the way, and punch. And there we go. And I suppose if you don't have a punch, you could take a circle die that you might have and just put a portion of it on there, and that would also work. And I'm also going to take a bone folder and kind of make sure that that opening is going to be there and work when I'm ready to put the designer or the gift card flap in there. And that doesn't really need to be very big. Okay, next is this piece that is, as I mentioned before, 4.5 this way and 7, and it's scored at 3.5. That is going to come here, so it's going to cover up some of that very pretty paper and fold over this way. You want to make sure that this stays on the right side. The crease is on the right, so that you'll get that flip and flap as the fun fold. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Get that part done, and then we'll decorate the front. It's a very easy card to put together once you get all the pieces parts there. Okay, remember, the crease is on the right side, and lay that down. Make sure that you've got enough space over here. I've got enough wiggle room that I can align that. Now I'm taking a little risk here. I'm not going to stamp on here right now, but I have a card to show you where I put something else in the middle there. I think I do. Kind of, yeah. And it won't have this extra panel, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So now we need to decorate this, and then basically that's it. So let's talk about all of these dies that I have punched out here. Going to go on this panel, and this is a piece of boho blue that's going to go on here. You don't have to put anything on the front here. You could just decorate this if you want to make your daisies or whatever image that you want to put on there a different color than the white. But I'm putting this on here. This happens to be 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. Where'd my, okay, because this is 3.5 by 4.5. And I just want that 1/8 around. So 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. And I've already run this through an embossing folder, and this is one of the new bundled embossing folders that is on the online exclusives. There are 3 of them together, so there's really no name assigned to this, but it's like a crosshatch, and I love it. It's a great, I guess you would call it a just kind of a neutral. There's no floral, nothing else there, and I really, really like it. So let's put that on the front. Now I probably could have decorated this before I ever put the card together. I just thought it was easier to show you about putting this flap on there so that it got in the right direction. I don't know if you heard that, but my furnace just kicked off. The furnace has been running with this cold weather, and it's just so cold and damp. Goodness sakes alive. All right, so all of these dies are just amazing. And let's see. Let me show you again what I started with. Okay. This die cuts out all three of these at once along with these flowers. And I do have another one to show you where you can snip these apart. Let me put this up here. You can snip these apart very carefully with your paper snips and have three separate daisies that also have separate the dies that will go with them, and then the leaves. I'm choosing to keep this one together, but it's got some layers on there, if you can see that. This is almost like a triple layer card. So we've got this layer here, and then we have this layer that can go underneath. So these are optional. I could put that on there just like this, and it would be absolutely lovely. I didn't even punch out all of these little pieces parts, but I do want to show you that this is a triple layer. So let's see where this one goes. And it's kind of easy to figure out where they layer. Sometimes you got to turn it around a little bit. There. So if you can see that, this shows underneath. And again, I have something else to show you if you stick around where you'll see this is a different color. So I'm going to lay that there and turn this over and add adhesive to this panel. So I'm just going to do this one at a time. Just a little bit of adhesive on each of those petals. Yeah, it's coming out. Started with a new one here today. There we go. All right. So now I should be able to flip that back over and it would line up again. So I don't have to do the awkward moving it around. There we go. And I like the white on white. I think it's very stunning. Okay, so I can put that down. And then we have this one. This die is going to fit under this one. See if I can line that up a little bit easier. Just kind of focus on one of the petals and you'll probably figure out what goes where after using it a few times. So we've got this one. I'm going to flip this over and add adhesive to this one. Now, another thing you can do is get your adhesive on all of your petals first. Let it sit for a little bit, and then it will just become sticky and almost like a little Post-it note. And you can add it that way too. Whoops. Lost my direction here. There we go. Almost. I need to focus on this and maybe get the little tweezers out. The tweezers would help on this too. Okay. I think it's off just a little bit. Now this one is pretty easy to figure out. Hi Elaine, welcome. I mean, who just doesn't love daisies? They're so fresh, and you know that it's spring when the daisies are out, and the tulips, and the pansies. It's pretty awesome. Okay, and that's going to fit on there. That one's kind of a no-brainer. And then we've got leaves, but wait, there's more. So the whole part about putting the card together, this is probably the most tedious, but only because I can't see what I'm doing here. Okay. Hello, Margaret. Welcome. Good morning to you from where you're from. Yes. What time is it there? Now the leaves only have the extra leaf and that. These other three are going to have another panel added to them. So I just had a whole bunch of these cut out, and these are great then to use up some of your white paper. And if you want color on your daisies, grab your blending brush and some ink, and you can color them that way too. Or of course use your cardstock. Okay, now that alone still looks very, very pretty. Okay, now we have these little little dimensional parts. Like this one is going to go on this one that almost looks like a little cone up there at the top. So that's going to come up here. So we're getting a triple layer. And this one is here, 6:02 a.m. Yay, that's early. So I'm so glad you're here and joined in from, I know I have said it right before, Kirrawee in Sydney, Australia. That was a place I've always wanted to visit, but I don't think I'll get there. I, many, many years ago, worked for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, and my boss was transferred there for, I think, a year to help open a plant, and it was just something I always wanted to do. Okay, so let's see where this one's going to go. Now, this one has some smaller petals here, so I'm looking for these smaller ones here, the three that are together, and that's going to help align that. Yeah, there we go. And just kind of move them around a little bit. Kind of massage them into place. Now those would be good maybe if you wanted to use the adhesive sheets, but once you put those down, there's no moving them around. So this made it a little bit easier. And then we've got one more, and that's the one that goes on here. And let's see if I can figure that one out before I actually put it on there, because there's a longer petal there. So I think that will work. The fact that my fingers are a little sticky right now isn't helping. And I could have used a sponge or a dauber. Okay. Again, this is the craziest part of it. Okay, that works. So there we go with the 3 different layers. So I know you're going to want to add this daisy bundle to your first order because it's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's put this on here. And what's nice about adding that extra layer at the back, I can now pop that up with some dimensionals. Let's put some of these out of the way. So I've got lots of different pieces, parts already punched out. Okay, and it's always fun to start a new sheet of dimensionals. So I think on all my samples I used pieces parts of the edges, which are always good to keep too. And one more. Take those off. And again, I said that these could be separated and put separately on the card. Let's see, I think I want the leaves up at the top. Just love the white and the blue. Yeah, this isn't aligned as well as my original one, but I think it still looks pretty good. So there we have that. Here's inside the the sentiments for here. I'm not sure what I want to do with this one. So actually I'm not going to decorate it right now because I have something else I can show you. But then this is a panel that can go on the inside. And I'll measure this in a minute. And that can just slip right down in there. And you can adhere a gift card here, have all of your sentiments here, or write a sentiment. You also have room over here if you want to write more. And this happens to be, I made this 3 by 5 1/4. And that goes down there like that. Now, I also saw where you could punch a hole here and put a ribbon pull on here, but I think that's pretty obvious. So you are an hour from the center of Sydney, and you're on the coast. Oh, the beach. But we're coming to spring. You're coming to fall right now, right? So just the different seasons, which I think is so cool. Okay, so there's that. We need some bling on here with these new gems. And these are the adhesive backed solid gems. And we have these in the boho blue, the lemon lolly, and the copper clay. And I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use the copper on this one. I'd use the blue on the others. Who would believe that these colors would go so well with the blue? Use my take a pick tool, which I love. Well, you would never know that we're into getting into spring here. We had 80 degrees one day, and the next day it was much colder. So, all right, I want to show you, before I show you the other designs that I have, that when you get your new ink pads, they come with a tag on the back in the different colors of the markets that we serve. And there's actually two that say copper clay, and then we have French and German. When you peel that off, this is another reason to have this little take a pick tool. When you peel that off, there we go. One of them will go on the front of your ink pad, just like this. Because I've not labeled any of mine yet. So there's copper clay, and they stick pretty well. Let me see if I can rearrange that. There we go. And then on the inside, because when you have a bunch of ink pads open, I can't tell that that's black or dark brown or whatever. So you take another one of those. And now that we've got two in English, I'll put this other one on the inside. And that can go right down in here. So when you have your ink pads open, you know exactly what color you're reaching for. So there's the copper clay in there as well. Now there's also a blank one, and I've seen where some have put another one on the other end. I don't know that I'll do that right now, but at least I've got the one here and the one on the inside. So these are good to go. All right, let me show you a couple other samples. Let me get some stuff out of the way here that I made. And here is an envelope to go with this one. Now, this card is the same one, except I'm calling it Flip Flap Fun Fold. It does not have the panel inside for putting a gift card in there. Okay, so this is just, I'm calling it a fold over flap, I guess. And this is 6 3/4 by 5 1/2. This part back here. This is 6 what did I say? 6 3/4 by 5 1/2, the regular size there. And then I scored it at 2 1/2. This part is 2 1/2. Then I have the same panel here, 5 3/8 by 2 3/8. And then this DSP is 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. Then this flap is the same as the other one. Okay, but look at the difference here when you put a color behind those daisies. And this one I only used 2. I didn't put that third one on top. It sets it off so much, and it's just beautiful. So you do have new ink pads and blenders and cardstock. I've got other things I've not gone through yet. I need to do that. Now on this one, I do have a belated card to send in the mail. So this is where I use the Oops-a-Daisy, so sorry. And on the inside, I put, I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. And that's the one that comes from the Something Fancy stamp set. Now this color is the Pebbled Path. And this is the Pebbled Path ink. I just love it. It's going to be so popular. It's such a great neutral, and will be great for masculine cards. So that's that one. Then I have one more to show you that as I was cleaning up my earlier mess, I had 3 little strips of the daisy, blue daisy paper. So I made this little card. So these little strips here, I think they're 1 inch. I don't know how I ended up with them. 1 inch by 3 maybe? Yep, they're 1 by 3 with the way I was cutting the paper. And I just jig-jagged them there. There is a stem die, which I just left white. I love the white on white. And then the small 3 panel there and the leaves, which I didn't cover up. And wishing you the brightest birthday. And then I stamped a daisy on the inside with a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel on the back. So those are the 3 cards that I have today. And I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about the ink pads and the new colors. But there's so much more to go. So next Monday will be the last day that anything will be available out of the old catalog. And I'm sure by then I have another, I think, a really cool idea that I've not seen anybody do yet. So thank you, Shirley. I had so much fun with these. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. I was going to add one of these little sprigs back here too. I think it needs a sprig back here. I don't know. It could go there, I guess. Kind of played around with that. So there's something, you know, something for everybody with this bundle. So I hope you love it. So I will see you next week. Take care. Have a great week. I think we're still going to be kind of chilly, but we'll muddle through, and soon it will be May. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.